Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. Here is the Z107.7 Local News for Wednesday, August 19th, 2026. A traffic stop on Old Woman Springs Road led to the arrest of a sex offender suspected of failing to register. On a Monday at around noon, San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies conducted a traffic stop on Old Woman Springs Road near Duarte Lane in Yucca Valley. Deputies say the vehicle was stopped for not having a front license plate. The driver was identified by deputies as Veston Ash, a 53-year-old transient. Deputies determined that Ash was a sex offender, and they say he had failed to register with the state of California for more than 30 days, violating the terms of his release. He was taken into custody at the scene. Veston Ash was arrested on suspicion of failing to register as a sex offender and is being held at the West Valley Detention Center on $30,000 bail. San Bernardino County Supervisor Kurt Hagman returned to the Board of Supervisors meeting for the first time after warrants were served at his home in Chino Hills. The Federal Bureau of Investigation served search warrants at multiple locations on July 27th, including at Supervisor Hagman's Chino home and the Ontario Airport, where Hagman sits on the Airport Authority Board of Commissioners. The Board of Supervisors met in regular session yesterday morning at their chambers in San Bernardino, and Supervisor Hagman was present. At the Board of Supervisors' previous meeting, held on August 4th, Supervisor Hagman was absent. Both meetings were conducted without mention of Supervisor Hagman's absence or the investigation. Stay tuned for more coverage from yesterday's meeting of the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors. Elections are coming up in November, and in Yucca Valley, only one council member will be facing a challenger as two of the town's districts failed to produce an opposing candidate. Online news editor Robert Hayden has more from last night's meeting of the Yucca Valley Town Council.
Tuesday's Yucca Valley Town Council meeting stretched just past the 3-hour mark with a variety of topics covered. Everyone on the Town Council was present on Wednesday night, and the consent agenda passed without public comment. In community updates, there were two presentations that took up the majority of the meeting. The first was from the new Community Engagement and Homeless Services Coordinator, Faith Nicholson, who gave a presentation on her new role and the outreach she's done, along with some of the data she's collected on the number of unhoused individuals in Yucca Valley. And San Bernardino County Sheriff's Deputy Alex Camacho discussed the Sheriff's OHV enforcement, where he acts as a quality of life deputy. We'll have a longer report on both of those updates later this week. Item number 19 on the agenda was consideration of canceling the general municipal elections for Yucca Valley Districts 1 and 3. While that may sound alarming, it's more of a matter of practicality, as District 1 Representative Mayor Pro Tem Jim Schooler and District 3 Representative Mayor Merle Abel both are running unopposed. In those cases, California Election Code allows the town council to nominate and appoint the sole candidate in lieu of an election. This year, the public won't be voting on any town-specific ballot measures, and according to Town Clerk Brooke Dudra, canceling the elections for both those districts would save the town an estimated $30,000. Resident Erin Gatlin urged the council not to cancel the election.
It's a bad look because you're taking away people's opportunity and their right to vote, or the opportunity to write in another candidate.
Melody Chambers said in her public comment that saving $30,000 for the town is just smart business, and Allison Bonazzi brought up her right to write in a candidate. In council member comments, Mayor Merle Abel said he agreed with all three speakers on the right to vote.
And I did some research and said in California elections, the overall success rate for a write-in candidate winning a seat in a general election is basically 0%. With that, then all of a sudden my view on it changed that I don't want to spend $30,000. We have to be good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars, and so I would support this resolution as drafted.
Councilmember Robert Lombardo agreed and was the first to bring up the idea of removing the town's districts, which he says would encourage more participation in the town council. This would also be revisited for future agenda items, but here council members expressed their frustration with the districting system. Mayor Pro Tem Jim Schooler says that districting has limited voters' choices in many of the boards around town.
The districting has not worked very well in our community, and not just for city council and town council, but school board and college board and water district. All of those seem to be impacted negatively by the districting.
Councilmember Jeff Droz agreed.
I mean, I ran unopposed last time, and I think several other people did because they didn't live in our little district. If it was town-wide, anybody could run and it would be an open election.
The motions to cancel the elections in Districts 1 and 3 were passed with a 5-0 vote. Immediately following that vote, Councilmember Lombardo revisited the topic as a future agenda item, asking for town staff to prepare a report on how the town could return to large elections for the town council. You can find a longer version of this story online with the public comments period, which addressed parks and rec maintenance, rent affordability in mobile home parks, and a request to put a ban on certain tools used in rodeos onto a future town council agenda. You can find that at Z107.7 FM.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
A new cafe project was granted a change of use to its conditional use permit by the 29 Palms Planning Commission at their meeting last night. Annalise Kuiper was there and brings us details.
First off, Brigham White of the Nxwhere Cafe told the meeting why they are applying for a change of use to the conditional use permit to that of a cafe with workspace, hosting events, and on-sale Type 47 alcoholic beverage sales.
My name's Brig. Me and my wife Bobby are the ones. We are artists, and our goal is, the reason we came to 29 Palms is because there's such a great artist community. And so we wanted to develop a space, a community space where people could come in and inspire each other and do art together and have really great cocktails, really great menu, really good coffee during the day. And it's hot, so we decided to have a pool, and it's just really a place for people to converge and come in, and we're going to have music events there in the evenings that are going to be well planned, and then also we'll be open for private events if we get any takers on that.
The Planning Commissioners approved the CEQA exemption for the Nxwhere Cafe, located at 73339 29 Palms Highway, while the change of use to the conditional use permit was granted. The Commission was to consider declaring 4 separate properties a public nuisance and dangerous building. The first, on 2 Mile Road, was removed from the public nuisance hearing because cleanup was complete, fees were paid, and the property is now compliant. The properties on Raymond Way and Sunny Slope Drive both have owners that cannot be found, nor can a financial institution or other interested party be located. The Commissioners followed staff recommendations and voted to declare both properties a public nuisance. The new owner of the property at 6776 Manzanita has been given time to come into compliance, and the city will work with her to accomplish this. And finally, the owner of the property at 6273 Abronia Avenue was cooperating initially, but now all communication has stopped, and Commissioners voted to declare the property a public nuisance and dangerous building. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Annalise Kuiper.
The Morongo Valley Community Services District Board of Directors meets tonight. They are expected to discuss emergency spending limits, district-approved holidays, and their conflict of interest code. With more, here's reporter Gabriel Hart.
For the meeting's agenda, the board will consider establishing a limit on the general manager's emergency spending to allow timely purchases and expenditures to address the district's urgent needs. District-approved holidays will be discussed with the consideration of an official holiday schedule for office closures, employee leave, and district operations. To ensure designated positions and disclosure requirements remain current and compliant with applicable law, the board will consider updates to the district's conflict of interest code. Finally, the board will discuss updates to the district policy handbook to ensure they reflect current laws. The MVCSD meeting is open to the public with opportunity for public comment, located at Covington Park at 11165 Vale Drive in Morongo Valley. For a link to the full agenda, please visit a link in the story at Z107.7 FM.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Gabriel Hart.
The 29 Palms Tourism Business Improvement District Advisory Board meets in regular session tomorrow afternoon. The TBID Advisory Board will review and potentially approve their 2026-2027 Visit 29 Palms event programming. If approved, the board will codify new approaches to funding programs and events in 29 Palms in support of the TBID's goal of increasing tourism. The changes to the funding policy includes fund matching from event organizers and the clarification of where events must be held, along with creating a list of pre-approved venues. The TBIT Advisory Board will also review their marketing plan and budget for the new year. The 29 Palms Tourism Business Improvement District meets on Thursday at 3:30 p.m. at 29 Palms City Hall. And finally, the 29 Palms High School Lady Cats volleyball team had their second home game this week. On Monday, the Cats beat the Yucca Valley High School Trojans in 3 games. On Tuesday night, they lost to Palm Desert in 3. The Lady Cats are now 1-3 overall, and they host Rancho Mirage today at 5:15. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.